Well, hello there, Chick Chat.
Hi.
Yes, I know no one's here yet, but thank you for joining us. I'm going to go over Sister Wives, the last episode of the Tell All, part 2.
The latest episode, not the last.
Latest. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
not to be confused with the final.
Yes, that we will be getting in a couple weeks, I think. There's 4, right? There's 4 parts.
I think so. I think that that's what I've heard advertised, and I know that that's what they did last season, but I don't know. I'm not a future teller. Exactly.
Yes.
There's 4. I think there's 4.
So we start this off right where we left off with Jenelle talking about how Kody is a failure and letting us know why he's a failure. Which,
yes, Suki starts right off with just asking him, what's the problem? Why has he failed?
Yes, and she says that plural marriage is basically like a bigger calling to be a better person than you are, to be able to maintain all of these relationships at an equal level, and Kody just wasn't capable of that, and he kind of gave up. And if you remember in season 19, before COVID, remember when they had that like dinner thing? Christine looked road hard, put away wet, like everybody looked disheveled, and
when
Kody
they were
was
trying
like,
to figure out their future of polygamy, and Kody was like, I don't really know if I care about it anymore, and they're all like, what?
Which is where I agree with Christine, where later she says, we left, but we left when it was already broken. Like that moment, I think, is when they figured out it was broken, because he didn't even care to do it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And this is before COVID. This was before Robyn's house was a safe space and whatever.
Right. I think COVID gave Kody the opportunity, sort of like Jenelle brings up here, that he could just sort of use it as an excuse to stay where he felt comfortable and where he felt wanted, I guess. But yeah, they were not happy as a unit.
Yeah. None of them were.
None of them. Yeah.
And I think Christine says it, that he had 3 wives leave. So to the church, obviously something is wrong with him. I mean, and that's just true in regular life as well. You're the common denominator in your relationships, right, Kody? So that's it. 3 people leaving you. You can maybe say, oh, well, me and Meri had problems for decades. Okay, sure, I can maybe buy that one. But then you had Christine and Jenelle also leave, and they didn't have problems with you for decades. You didn't melt down their rings, things like that. So,
right.
And now you get along with Meri the best. She's the favorite. Whatever.
Yeah, you can't make sense of Kody, honestly. I mean, he tries really hard. I think honestly, last episode of this tell-all, I think, was one of the most genuine, authentic things that Kody will ever say, which is that he has 5 versions of the truth, and at any time he will just kind of choose one and go with it. And I think that, after I heard that, I'm like, okay, I'm done trying to figure out Kody, because it could be any one of 5 Kodys. We should give him
any of those versions, right? Yeah.
Each version should be a name.
Yeah. I mean, it is Jenelle, Christine, Meri, Robyn, Kody.
It is. That's why there's 5 versions and then his own.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's true. So he told it like it was.
Yeah. So then they get into the sacred cow. They ask Robyn, or Suki asks Robyn, how do you feel about being the secret cow? Do you like that? I thought that was funny. Do you like that? And she goes,
I like to be called a cow.
Moo, I don't know. Which is so Robyn. This whole episode, last episode, she's giving us nothing. It's like Hillary Duff up there. Like, she's just the queen of giving nothing.
Yeah, she is. And the whole time she has her mouth covered with her hand, and she's just bumbling around. I don't know. She comes across really inauthentic and like ungenuine, and she already does anyways for the last couple of years, but this is just a weirder version of him. It makes me kind of believe Janelle's whole, I think this is what is coming up in the next thing too, but Janelle's whole thing of like, maybe Kody is being an ultra villain because he's trying to cover for also Robyn's villainy, because this lady is rude. She's not just quiet and whatever and oh Kody, does whatever he wants and I stay away from it. Like she's rude.
Yeah, she is. She won't
Like
look at the
she could
kid.
care less. And Kody was the same way. And
Mhm.
I think too, I don't know obviously how all of this stuff is filmed, but it seems like Kody in this episode was after he went home to Robyn and they talked to each other, and then Kody came back the next day, the
Yeah.
day that he had his stroke when he was talking about Christine at the end, and was just done. I don't
I
know.
feel
They're
like
just
that
ran it.
has to be how things are filmed. Like they film some things one day and then they come back in the same
They
outfits
have
and
to.
finish the next. Because how else are we getting all this back and forth conversation between everybody, between
With
David and
Suki as
Kody
the
and
only
Suki?
one doing this,
Yeah.
especially when it all came up with David and Christine in the boys trip, which we won't get into right now because I have a lot to say about that when we get to it. But all of that, it was clear that she had obviously heard this, talked to him, and then was able to relay a message even back
Mhm.
to Cody. So that
Yeah.
had to have been the next day, or
That or
time
maybe
had
they
to have
just
passed.
have the
Maybe they
exact
had
same
lunch.
room. Yeah, or they have the exact same room 4 or 5 times, and she just literally runs from room to room.
So true. I just sent you that link from
Oh.
what is that other podcaster's name? Uh anyway, Suki got interviewed from somebody. What is that show?
I saw the way you sent, but I didn't actually get a chance to watch it.
So I did watch it, but I watched it in the background when I was cleaning, and I don't know. I feel like that would have caught my ears if she asked how these things are filmed because I
Mhm.
really need to know the production schedule here. But
Me
anyway,
too, it gets confusing, but yeah, either way, so she asked Robyn, I think, before we go over to Janelle, what is off limits, like, if anything's off limits for Kody and Robyn to discuss, and she says, no." Like, again, a bunch of non-answer answers, like, doesn't wanna answer, but feels forced to answer because she's in a damn contract and she can't buy any of her dolls if she doesn't do this, but so she goes over to Kody, and her and Kody start like arguing about him
well,
answering this question.
I think Suki did a good job with Robin here of setting Robin up. I think she knew
Mhm.
that Robin was going to say that there's nothing that's off limits. And so she said, if there's nothing that's off limits in this marriage, then why in the hell is it that Jenelle feels that there are things that are off limits? Trying to really hold her
Mhm.
to answering this question because I think she knew Robin was going to be like, oh, I don't know. That's between
Yeah.
them, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I think Suki is a little bit unleashed this season, this
Yes, I think so
series.
too.
This could be her last hurrah.
She's gotta make it matter, right? So,
Yes.
as usual, Robyn wants everyone to focus on their own relationships, which
Right.
they're going into the past right now, so y'all as a family, like, all of your relationships are up for debate. So, I don't know, it's interesting, but,
Yes.
uh
Suki did fight back from once, Joe. You are correct. Welcome back. Hi.
although okay, so let's get into that. So, Suki and
Okay.
Kody start going back and forth. She asks, him about why Janelle couldn't bring up Robyn and things like that, but I wish while they're doing this whole back and forth and arguing, bickering, whatever, I wish she just would have asked, like, since, Robyn is off topic, is the other sister wives off topic for Robyn? She didn't ask him that. And that's something I want to know. Like, is they off limits if Robyn's off limits, or
Mhm.
are they off limits with each other as well? Like, are you not talking to Janelle about Christine, or you know what I'm saying? So, and that's not true because Janelle in previous seasons will be like, oh yeah, Kody called me about Meri, Kody called me about Christine. So
No, I think that's a good question. Maybe Cody was trying to lie about that and say that things were off limits because I think at one point in this
mhm,
episode he does say something about my relationship with Robyn isn't affected by my relationship with these other women, only my reactions to my relationship. And maybe that's kind of what he was speaking on, but I don't think that that's the truth. I don't think that that's the case. I think you're right. I
yeah.
think he he allows Robyn to do whatever Robyn wants to do, as we should all allow our spouses, within as long as they're not hurting anyone, to be who they
Mhm.
are, right? But he doesn't have that patience and that allowance when it comes to the OG3, especially when it's directed at Robyn. And I'm sorry, but like I feel like there has to be a way for them to be able to respectfully share their worries about each other, like other wives with Kody and whatever, without it causing a big fuss or Kody shutting it down. I know that was a big problem for a long time in all of the marriages, that Kody would not sit and listen to all
Yeah.
of that. He'd just call them bad sister wives.
Mm-hmm. Although I just saw a clip of Robyn or Christine, and Christine was trying to be sister wives and mend that relationship when Solomon was first born. So it's just funny that like these clips be showing up to contradict everything that Kody says. Like, oh, they're just bad sister wives.
Yeah.
They didn't care to be friends with
Mhm.
Robyn. And I'm like, no,
You
they went
didn't
on
want to really
trips.
have a good relationship with these other women. The knife in the kidney.
It's crazy. But they used to go on trips together. I remember them segueing through Seattle or
Oh yeah.
something.
The girls themselves would go on trips like alone. They all went to
Yeah.
therapy together. There was all kinds of things that they did together. And again, I think that's why this whole rewriting of history thing. And I'll be happy to never hear that phrase again after this
Oh
is
my
over.
gosh. You're gonna keep hearing it if there's another season. But
Right.
Joe says, that's a great question. I wonder the same. Robyn told on Jenelle on her birthday, so they can talk about the others. Yeah. Definitely Robyn and Kody can talk about the others. You're right. Jenelle says in one of these clips that, Kody and her went on a birthday trip, and Robyn was able to tell him about an argument that her and Jenelle were having that had nothing to do with
Yeah.
him. She's like, I don't even know how you knew that. And
So that
that's when
makes
he
me
shut her
think,
down.
yeah, that makes me think maybe there is an unspoken rule, but there is an exception for Robyn, right? Like she's allowed to say, this
Yeah.
is what Janelle said, or this is what I heard, or whatever. But
Mhm.
whenever it happens anywhere else, it's like, oh, we're not supposed to do that.
Mhm. And it's
Whatever.
just that's why your relationships didn't work out with these other people. I mean, if you're only letting one wife vent about all the others, which he's letting the other ones vent about each other, like
Mhm.
Christine and Meri, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way he's not listening to all that, but he just doesn't want to hear about Robyn because he's got a bias towards her. And I think Jenelle is right that he is deflecting a lot of the heat off of Robyn because we all have our theories about her. We all have, questions for her that she won't answer. But he's now a super villain because remember Kody in season 1, he was just like a bubbly guy. He
Yeah, he
was,
was
I
happy to
mean,
be married. He was like, wow, these people let me marry all these ladies. How cool. Like he was just, running
yeah,
around the house trying to get
yeah,
from place to
place to
place.
place, yeah. And now he's just a super villain and he's
Yeah.
embraced that role, I think, to take the heat off of Robyn because Robyn is this can't do anything wrong. I don't care how many dolls she buys. I don't care how much horrible art she needs. Like, this is the one for me, and I'm not going to let you
Yeah.
talk about her. But,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just so ironic. I'm sure this was kind of Cody's point in choosing these words, but he does shut everyone down when it comes to talking about Robyn. And here he is in this interview, maybe the last one ever. And he's just
Mhm.
gonna shut Suki down now too. I'm gonna shut you down. She says, you can't shut me down.
Yeah, she says, you're in a contract, man. And you're the
Yeah,
main person in this contract, I'd assume, that Kody has to talk about it the most.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and that's fine if you want to be in love with Robyn. I don't think anybody truly cares about that. I just wish he would own up to treating people differently and, the
Yeah.
bias there. And like, okay, like maybe, me and Robyn do just have a different relationship than I am comfortable with having with the other ones. I mean, he even only told Robyn and Meri about hooking up with a person before before getting
True.
married.
It's
He said
true.
person.
Yeah, he said person. He said person, but yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I have actually some more suspicions about that person even later in this episode, or that theory
You
that you have
do.
that we've been
Is it
talking about. It's about the David trip, but we'll get to the David trip. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry, guys. Stay tuned. But what I want to know here is why is it that Kody cannot provide an accountable apology without being a complete sarcastic, excuse my language, asshole?
Yeah.
Because this would have been fine if he was serious, even if he just looked into the camera and did a public apology this way. I mean, I would hope he would do better than that. But
Mhm.
just if you looked into the camera with a serious face and a genuine tone and you said what you just said, people would be like, wow, Kody, you've changed a lot. And now we're like, hey, Kody, you've lost your mind. Like, it's just
Yeah, the
crazy.
best he ever did was in that one confessional, but, which truth of the 5 truths was that? So, it's
Exactly.
yeah, and even here, like you're saying, like, he's just being sarcastic, and then Suki's like, "Well, do you know what you just did there? You took accountability." It's like, "No, we did not. We did
That
not."
was a sliver. That was the beginning sentence of taking accountability.
That was sarcasm.
Yeah. And then he has the gall to just sit and be like, "Well, I wish I'd get some of it back." Like,
It's
okay,
crazy.
Cody, whatever.
What do you want from these people? A joint letter or card or something that says
Yeah, he wants a
what?
amicable arrangement.
They've all taken accountability for things like everybody has said, all of us have failed, all of us have whatever, but
Mhm.
you are the common denominator in these relationships, so you have a little bit more splaining to do, so like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yes, Joe, a man is the question. Not sure. To be determined, I guess. I'm still trying to figure it out.
yeah.
um
Well, we're trying to. I don't know. We'll see. We might
we'll
have.
see.
We might be talking about this more. I'll definitely be talking more about my suspicions later on. But I loved this picture because she's over here talking about, ending out this whole scene with
I
talking
love that.
about her lack of desire, just sheer lack of desire. I think she went on for almost 2 minutes about how she does not care to be friends with them, doesn't like
Mhm.
them. She'll be surface level, whatever with them. Doesn't hate them, but
It's
it's not happening.
honest. At least it's honest.
It's very honest.
And I mean, even Kody, I know sometimes like Kody gets really blunt like this, and I've heard people like, well, what's the difference between Kody saying it and Jenelle? But I think the difference is that Kody is so cynical and Janelle's just being straight up facts. I mean, if
Mhm.
Kody wanted to keep one story instead of 5 stories and, just be factual about it and not mean and conniving and cynical all the time,
Right.
like he does later with the maybe not. Like the man is a born super villain.
He is. He's so weird.
I don't know. It's
Mm.
weird, like the weird curly-haired Kody and not the Meri-haired Kody. Like they're two different individuals. Like people
Yeah.
be saying Kanye West is cloned. I almost think Kody got cloned and changed, changed
He
around or
has
something.
He has, I think honestly he's just been isolated for so long. I think his family, even I think they still could have kept him grounded if he wouldn't have been isolated from all of them, but I think he's just really been so isolated, and like we always talk about, him and Robyn are both equally delusional and they
Mhm.
kind of egg each other's delusion on. And
Yeah.
when you're away from the world essentially and just filming your own show in your own bubble for at least the last 6 years, I think he's just lost it a little.
Maybe one of them dolls
That's
is
why
like
when he does
possessed.
break through sometimes and he has those moments where he does, let's say, like, sometimes I just pick my truth and I go with it, or he did take a little bit of accountability at the end of the season, talking about how COVID, really actually didn't matter in the long term. I'm so shocked when I hear those things
Mhm.
because I think that that man is really delusional now.
Yes. I do think maybe one of those dolls got possessed, and maybe Kody got
So
possessed from the doll. Like maybe Robyn needs to be thinking about where she's buying these things.
she
'Cause
probably should be thinking about where she's buying these things.
do a
Anyone
whole
can put a
seance.
hex on something.
Shoot, there's probably a whole seance on one of these dolls, honestly.
I
I bet
know, and
one of
not to
them's
mention these trash journal or junk journals, whatever she calls them. I mean, they could have anything in there.
yeah, she could be buying whole spell books, has no idea.
I
Yeah.
know.
I don't know, especially the dolls, because she's got like porcelain, weird looking dolls, and you just never
Mhm.
know. Like she could be buying a doll from the 1800s that has like an angry ghost attached to it that's making her husband even more
Right.
horrible. But this is my theory. I always have a theory.
Yeah. So we move on to the favorite sister wife clips.
Oh god.
Um, this gets shown, I think, within this version of clips, they have obviously the backing
Yeah.
into Kody scene, how it's inappropriate, but it's funny. How Kody thought that Meri was so on point that day and the wonderful woman that he would have wanted to been married to. And the clip ends with Kody calling Meri the favorite ex.
Yeah, the fact he even called her on point was like
I know. Like,
she
what are you, 25?
I know. Are you RuPaul? Like what on point.
Like, on point today. Like, and on point how? With meeting your needs? Because that's just stop.
Making jokes makes her on point because she doesn't care
Yeah.
anymore.
Looking good. I mean, what is she on point with? I need to know.
She was wearing like a Karma shirt at the time, so
Karma saw all of that.
Karma saw everything. But then when they're showing these clips, you do see like Robyn, and I felt like Robyn looked a little bit annoyed when watching the clips.
I think at first she
Maybe.
was annoyed and then she realized her face looked like that, so she smiled a whole bunch, but she looked annoyed to me too. I
Yeah,
don't
she's the
think
one
she
that
was
looked more red
actually
in
what?
yeah. I would say she's the one that looked more red in the face than like Kody did with David. Like
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think in the picture that I got, it was just when she oh, yeah, this was, like, towards the end when she started to look mad. But she was kind of chuckling along about it, and she did end up downplaying it when they asked her about it too. She just said that I think she said she hadn't drawn those boundaries yet. So, it was fine.
yeah,
But
but has she drawn them
everyone else
now?
had drawn those boundaries. So,
I wonder if they're drawn now, you know? Do they get
should have
drawn
asked
that
her.
day?
Suki should have asked her about that.
See, I know Suki did better this time, but there were still so many questions that I would have rebutted with these people that just wasn't happening. Oh, we
Yeah,
got
I don't know
Cindy
about
back.
hi,
Hi,
Cindy.
Cindy.
Welcome back. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Tell All Part 2.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if better is necessarily the case. I think a lot of people said better, and I do agree, but I think she's just more confrontational, you know?
Mm.
She's willing to confront Kody a little bit more. I think she's willing to ask some more follow-up questions, but I don't know if that's better.
Kody and Robyn just have to be like super hard to interview in general, but you know.
Terribly, terribly hard.
But still, I just feel like there was some questions that were missed. But now we see David on the couch with Christine, and I think it's interesting that he's here for all this part. But um, yes, they again are talking about he loves Meri with sass. He does love a good sassy, having fun Meri. I mean,
He does. When Suki was asking about, that clip to Robyn, she says that that's really common for them and that it's really fun. So, I mean, that must be the way that they talk to each other when they are getting along is that kind of banter. And I know there's a lot of relationships that are like that.
yeah.
I mean, they could be friends. I don't know. A lot of people think I'm crazy because I think that divorced people can be friends, but like, I mean, you can.
Well,
You
your
can't
parents
be
are friends, so
that's what it's just normal to me, what you grow up with is normalized, but, like, I don't think it's, like, insane, you guys share kids together. You
I think it's
can
easier
be
for Kody and
casual.
Meri than the rest of them because they're just been so separated from each other for so long. Like, he hasn't been living with Meri in
Yeah.
decades.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's a little bit
But then why
easier
is it that he gets along best with Mary?
because that's easier for him, he kept her at bay for so long that it took Meri like he said in the one clip or the one scene, he said that he thinks that Meri just forgave and was easy to be around at that point, which maybe Meri did just forgive a lot of things or let a lot of things go, because I feel like you have to with Kody. Like, you're not gonna get an apology from this man, so you either got to learn to let things just go and have
Right.
no closure, or you just gotta
Yeah.
be able to laugh it off. And I think Meri's at that space, but it takes a long time to get there.
I
But
kind of I kind
yeah,
of like what Mary added to that though was that she like she had been that way for a while and that Kody never had the chance to experience that either. So, I mean, I don't
yeah,
know if Mary just forgave when she was moving. I think she was happy to get the heck out of there. She was in a good mood that day for sure.
it's better
And she
on the
also
other.
needed Cody's help. I mean, I don't know, don't you tend to be a little nicer to people when you need their help?
Oh shoot. Up there. I agree. They haven't lived together for 10 years, which I do think makes it easier to become friends. Now with Janelle, I don't think that that's going to be as
Yeah.
easy, especially with everything that's happened over there. But
Mhm.
same thing with
Well, according to
Christine, the
Cody and
way.
Janelle, they don't even know if they're broken up. Like, they're so wishy-washy about it. So I could see them not, hanging out, having coffee together. But I think like with Christine, I guess, I mean, she's married. She's moved on. I can see that their feelings are
Mhm.
still hurt, that there's still healing to do. And Cody made a good point about that, even though it was in a stupid way. But there is
Yeah.
still healing to do. Yes, I can agree with that. But I could also see them being friendly and showing up to Truly's, things and maybe even all going to dinner together after for the sake of Truly, not because they all like each other and that's their preferred friends, but just because
Mhm.
they can.
Yeah, I mean, if Robyn and Christine can be there for McKelty when she was having her babies and stuff, I think that eventually, like, Christine and Kody can get there. I think Christine and Kody could get there faster than Janelle and Kody could get there. I think
Yeah,
him and David getting along is
it
helping
helps.
that. It
Mhm.
helps that David is the way he is.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's still gonna take a while. But it's what's mainly gonna take a while is Kody. Cody is the one that makes it a lot more difficult.
Well, he's
He
so hot and
doesn't.
cold. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'd go on a trip. I thought that was funny." And then all of a sudden he basically has a stroke about it when they're like, "Okay, we'll think about a trip." I mean, I don't know how else to describe the way that he stared about that, but
He did.
geez.
I was wondering, like, why they even let that scene go on for so long. Like, I know, like, the
I think they wanted
intensity
to
of it,
illustrate how stupid he is.
but it was so awkward and uncomfortable, and I was like, "Wow, you guys are really gonna waste 2 minutes of my time here just staring at this man fumble." Like,
Just watch his eyes get bigger and smaller.
he just was not sure what to do. Um, he was pissed off at Christine because she had just served the child custody papers before filming the tell-all. Okay, so that gives a
Yeah,
little context to,
okay.
timing there.
And
Wow,
maybe
wasn't that a
probably the
while
undermining, comment too.
wasn't that a while back? Like, how old is this tell-all? Like, because when was the custody stuff filed? I feel like this was, like, last year,
Well, I
so
mean,
maybe they must have filmed
they wrapped up
this.
at the end of I mean, they wrapped up right after everything that happened with Garrison.
Yeah, like, summer of last year or something. Because 'cause I've heard a little bit about that custody
Mhm.
stuff,
Mhm. Yeah, and that
already.
was around that time. So, yeah, it's been a
Mhm.
while, but yeah, that's definitely sounds like when they would be filming this. So I mean, that makes sense to me.
Someone said when the horse was for sale. The horse that Cody and Robin almost, like, offed, or, like, the one,
No,
like, which.
I think maybe they meant house.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Their
host.
yeah, their
As
house.
I read it, horse.
Yeah. So, I don't think they actually own any
House.
horses. I think they're just
House.
on Cody's ranch. Yeah, house. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thanks for that.
I don't know if I'd sell that horse. That horse has been through it.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
yeah, actually, speaking of that horse thing, somebody did comment on one of our videos and said that they're, like, an equestrian, or used to be, and
I think
that
that
it
was,
was.
I think Hauserman, if I remember.
Yes, I believe so.
Mhm.
Sorry for
Shout out to
getting that
Lisa.
wrong. Yes. But she said that the weight was too much, obviously, and the way it was dispersed, you could tell
Mhm.
it was hurting the horse's kidneys, because that's exactly where Cody was sitting, was on the horse's kidneys, and I'm like, "Oh god, that poor
Yeah.
horse."
I know. And to claim to be, a rancher and to have sent your kids to all of this, and, don't you think that your dad would be real upset to see you doing this? If that's all the truth. But anyways, so we're getting distracted. So we're talking about Meri being the favorite wife.
Mhm.
And we'll get through this part quickly because I don't know, there's not a lot really
Yeah.
extra here, but um Kody's body belongs to Robyn. We kind of talked about a lot of this
Mhm.
already.
Yeah. Christine also says that Cody's been Robin's husband for a long time. I think he's been her husband since before season 19 when he sat there at that table and said, "I'm done with this."
I
And the
agree.
only one at that table that didn't look shocked was Robyn. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's hilarious that Christine was so angry watching this clip with the time when Kody left crying, and she was so angry with what he said about walking her down the aisle. She's like, "Are you crazy? That is an honorable position." And I agree. I think there
Mhm.
are times where Meri, I don't know. It's hard for me sometimes to see what people are talking about when people say that Meri is such a aggressive person, because I just see her being so passive and not really confronting a lot of the issues that are very obvious. But she did speak on that a little bit in this episode too, when she
Mhm.
brought up that it's just confusing because he'll do things like this and sob and say, it's the end of the era and an era and all of that. So, I get that it's confusing. And at the same time, I think Christine has a way with words, as we've always said, but she just speaks
Mhm.
up for herself so much more. She always has. She's
Yeah.
always had arguments with Kody, even when they were all married openly.
Yeah, I think Mary is like hot and cold. I think she's a lot better now than she probably was, but I remember she
Yeah,
would always, speak her mind before. In fact, I think, at some point that changed more because her and Cody's relationship just wasn't there anymore. So she started just taking a back seat. Just like I remember her at the little meetings, at those last meetings that they had, and she was like, "Well, I'm just gonna sit back here and not say anything because none of this has to do with me, but I'm
right.
here as a placeholder still."
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's more along the lines of why she seems passive is because she just kind of gave up herself on like the actual, whole family thing, like that she's really a part of that. But back in those earlier episodes, she would speak her mind and she would, so I can see where she could be aggressive. And Christine said in the last episode that, they were always walking on
Changed a
eggshells
lot.
with her, and there's got to be a reason for that. So I think she's
Mhm.
better now, but I think
Yeah.
she's also
Christine
grown a
also
lot.
said at that time that Mary changed a lot
Yeah.
too. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
think there was obviously something. I'm not going to say, there are several people, like more than a handful of people in that family that have said veiled things about Mary.
She was
She was
always so
always
awkward in the
awkward in
family.
family
Yes.
meetings.
Yeah,
True.
because she just stopped having an opinion in the meetings, and then they'd look at her and be like, "What do you think, Mary?" And she's like, "Oh, shoot, was I supposed to be
Too
paying attention?"
cringe.
Like
Yeah. Or the one time I'll never, this is one of my favorite scenes, and I don't even know why, but when Mary wanted to buy the family home, the
mhm.
yellow B and
The
B bed and
B&B, yeah.
breakfast thing, yeah. So when she wanted to buy that and she thought the family was going to help her, and then they sat down and they let her know that they wouldn't have the money to help her, and immediately she grabs her phone. She's like, I gotta go make some sales. I gotta get this house paid for." She just like leaves. Just think about that all the time. She just gets right up like,
She
what?
had no
Oh, I
time
gotta
for
go. I gotta sell all this clothes. I gotta
I
get
know.
these bills.
These Dells and check my emails.
Gotta check an email for
Yeah,
Adele.
check emails to close these Dells. And,
Honestly.
honestly, my favorite Mary scene is when she, like, totally derfed it on that sled in, like, season 2 or 3. Oh my gosh, that shit was
Into the
hilarious.
house.
Yes, I thought he had lost a wife.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one
Oh,
too.
that was a great
So
scene.
so
It's
Suki asked
awesome.
Mary how she feels about Kody walking her down the aisle, and she says no about 100 times.
Mhm. Yeah, she can't even comprehend it. She does say that Kody called her saying that he was grieving their relationship, and she did set that boundary of, "You can't call me like this,
Yeah.
upset about our relationship." And I don't even think Kody, like, misses Meri or anything. I just think he sees Meri as, like, the family and, like,
Yeah.
she is, like, this what started the family. She's kind of like the head of the family, even with, him and Robyn really, being the married couple here. He still, I think, views her as the family. So I think he was more devastated on, that this is the end of an era, whatever he was screaming when he was hugging her. But yeah, so I think that makes him think he's devastated about Meri, but he let this woman rot for 10 years and wanted to put her in a barn. I don't think that, like, he actually misses her. Now he wants her as a little hostage, but don't think
Right.
he actually misses her in the
Right.
sense of a marriage. I think he just wants her as his hostage on Coyote Pass in the barn dominium, selling clothes and making money for the family.
Exactly. I think that's what he was grieving, was the productivity of the household has greatly diminished.
Hmm.
I
And
mean,
I
not that
think,
they go
well,
ahead.
Meri was the last to leave, so I think it's kind of like he was probably upset about everybody all at once at that point because, she was really
Mhm.
the last to go. I mean, Jenelle, we know she's, iffy, but in those scenes, she did tell him, "I am done," at dinner well before Meri moved away. So,
Yeah, true. I do
yeah,
forget about that sometimes.
who knows what him and Nathan were talking about in that truck.
I hope Nathan was talking some damn sense into this man.
Well,
So he also gives us some weird line about how, and if you think this is true, Kody, then why even come and sit down for these things? I can appreciate that you have a contract, but he gives us some weird baloney about, well, everyone already has some kind of opinion about me, so they're just gonna gaslight me into saying things that make me agree with their biases. I'm just like, you you play into that with your 5 different truths, okay? If you had one truth, if you felt one way and it was the
mhm,
way that you felt, we
yeah.
would be able to know what that is. But we all have to pick which 5, one of 5 that we like or dislike, and then try to hold you to it like you're some kind of flubber flubbing around, okay? Stop flubbering and then getting mad at us.
Yeah.
He has the house above the garage. In the new house, he has a barn dominium for Meri. Maybe that's why he was grieving. He's like, I just created the barn dominium and you're gone. It's
I need to
the
put
night
you
in the kidneys
I need to
after
put you
all
in.
these years.
Now, does he live in the house above the garage in the barn dominium, or is that where Robin's dolls live, or like what? Like, I'm wondering what he keeps up there.
He keeps all his things like he wanted to keep
The
Meri.
scraps that Mary mailed him back, or what?
Yes, all the items. Yes, his boat,
I
his
can't.
hose.
I know, like, I get the sentiment of I don't get why Mary gets to have all those things or whatever, but um, yeah, I don't get why he wanted all them scraps back. They were just all cut up pieces of fabric at that point. Like, you can't wear the damn shirt. Like, you can't do
I have
anything
no
but
idea.
look at it and watch it mold over time.
I have no idea. None.
Okay, so Dayton's living there. So I've always heard that Dayton is back with his dad. So that's information for me.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too, is that he's with his dad. But I,
Mhm.
I mean, you never know with these articles. Dayton
Oh.
could be anywhere.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's, not with them because he doesn't film with them ever, but maybe he's just over the show, which with his autism and stuff, I can see him never wanting to be on TV. I don't know. I'm surprised they ever got that kid on TV or, you know,
Hmm.
he didn't have a choice then and now he has a choice. So I'm sure he does not want that. Oh, it's a joke about Dayton. Okay. Well,
Oh,
yeah, because he was living in that RV outside for a minute, but yeah, I think he's back with his dad. Or, I hope so for his sake, because
that was
for one,
really
his
funny.
dad is going through it, I hear, with like cancer and stuff. So it'd be good to have one of his kids from, I know he's got
Mhm.
other kids, but it'd be good to have Dane or somebody around.
Yeah.
to get to know him better, because I feel like these kids, Robyn's kids, lost the chance of getting to know their biological father
Mhm.
because of, what their divorce,
The
which I think is
adoption
so
and
funny.
all the things, yeah.
I think it's so funny that Robyn wants to sit here and be like, "Well, he should, have these relationships with all of his kids," and like she blames like the wives almost for keeping these kids away, like
Right.
Truly and things like that. And she wants Kody to have these relationships, but she did not fight for that for her own children. Like, you don't
Yeah.
want your own children to have this relationship with their biological father. You want Kody to step in and, you know, she
Be the
rewrote
father.
history and made that
She
damn
did.
photo, and ever
Yep.
since then it's been Cody's dad. Remember
Mhm.
episode freaking 2 of her in there, Brianna was calling Kody dad. She's like, "Who's this? Kody? No, dad." Like she corrected her, and it's
Oh,
like that.
really?
Yes, it's in one of the first scenes that you see them kids in. Like she's literally showing the kids a picture book of who is in the family.
No,
Like
that is sounding more familiar
studying.
now, yeah.
And she's like, "Who is that?" And
Yeah.
Brianna said Kody at first, and she's like, "No." And yeah, she said dad. And I was like,
Yeah. I think I do
"This
remember
girl
that
just
now.
met him. Like that's not her
Mhm.
dad. Just let if that's going to happen over time, let that be a natural thing that happens over time. But if you're telling your kids
It
to
has
call
to
this
be a
man
choice.
dad,
Yeah, that's made. That's just yeah,
especially when
that's
they have
so
a
weird.
dad,
They
ugh,
they have a dad, yes.
they have a dad."
I hope he is living away from Kody and Robyn. Yes, we can definitely all agree on that and that.
And that. Anyways, so
So this
um
is where we get to my strange suspicions. I mean, I know Anne has talked about the conspiracy theory that she's trying to um, learn a little bit more about around who is
yeah,
individual one
yeah.
that Kody had first, been with in an adult fashion. And there's rumors about it being someone who could be a male. I mean, allegedly, we didn't start these rumors. Let me be very clear about that, but they are online. So Anne's
Oh,
been diving into the rabbit hole. Me, not so much. But when I saw this, it piqued my interest a little bit because he's talking about David in this scene. This is where they
yeah.
start going over the clip where the family met David. And Kody, before even seeing this, he didn't even want to see the clip. And maybe it's because he's in love with David. I don't know. But he's referring to David as an overwhelming as an overwhelmingly handsome individual. Thank you for saying what I can't say, Joe. Sticking around for my analysis here. But refers to him
Yeah.
as a handsome individual. And then I was like, okay, that's a strange way, to talk about this guy. And then he goes, well, I had a really naughty idea. Naughty? That's an interesting choice of words, is it not, Kody Brown? And then to come to find out that his naughty idea is to take this man on a boys' trip
Yeah.
alone.
A mission, if you will.
A mission, if you will. And then not only it seems like David is aware of what this boys' trip entails because David was like, well, the rules are going to have to change when it comes to these kinds of trips. And Suki goes, what do you mean the rules are going to have to change? And David said that's between me and Kody. As if David is aware what the problem is here. And then Suki was like, I really want to know. And I was like, yes, Suki, I also really want to know. And that
So,
is where it's left.
I mean, I can also see like maybe the rules being like don't talk about Christine or your wives or anything like that. I could see that being a rule, but a big rule for me would be, we ain't sleeping in the same bed. But and Kody does love his bromance. He comes alive when he's around other men. You just can't help but notice it. I
He
mean, you get this man with around any other men, it doesn't matter whether it's his sons or his
mhm,
brothers or his friends, like he
his
just
uncles. Yeah.
brings alive, and it's crazy. And you put him next to any woman and he's just
Like deflated and sad and just he's lost all of his zest.
Yeah, David would tell not to talk about the ex fam. That's what I was assuming.
Mhm.
Is to just not go there, like talk about Christine or his wives or like reference
Mhm.
that. Because I'm sure he deals with that with Christine enough on a day-to-day basis of referencing the past.
Yeah.
And
Well, I don't blame David for not getting into it. I mean, he would be the last person that would need to talk
mhm,
about if he's referring to what we're jokingly referring to, he would be the last person to go there for sure. But I just think it's funny that David's initial knee-jerk reaction had to be kind of explained away basically like that. Like, oh, well, I'm just
he
not going to
needs
get into it.
brownies.
But his
Yeah,
knee-jerk reaction was the rules are going to have to change.
yeah, he
As
needs
if he's
boundaries.
aware of some kind of rules that happen on Kody's boys' trips. I don't know, supposedly, allegedly, I didn't see any of this. I'm not there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Uh, like I think that David more or less meant like, the family's off limits and if we're going to do a boys trip, we're just going to, do activities and keep it at that, nothing crazy cuz I do think that they could get along pretty fine. I mean,
Yeah.
Kody around other men is just a totally different person and um yeah, I do think some of Cody's comments are weird like that he was, you know, nervous about being around a potentially handsome man, and it's like, "What?" Like, what
No,
do you
he
mean
already
you're
knew David was
nervous?
handsome. He thought David was handsome.
Did he know? I
Yeah,
thought he said they're potentially being a handsome man. Of a potentially overwhelming handsome like, I don't think he ever saw David before that. I think
I
he
guess
was
I was thinking, like,
worried.
I could be potentially overwhelmed by his handsomeness, but that he knew he was handsome. But you're right, it's yeah, he could have said whatever.
Nah, well, either
But
way, I think Cody's questionable in this area,
that's
so
what I'm saying, like, I'm not saying, like, "Boom, we found the evidence," but that's what I'm saying about, like, yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
see everyone else's questionableness about the
Mhm.
way I think it's just interesting how Kody chooses his words and acts around certain
Well,
men.
it's funny that he's willing to go on this boys' trip with David, and he even kinda
Yeah,
giggled when Suki relayed back, like, "Yeah, David would be fine with that." He's like, "Oh, really?" Like,
I
he was
know.
really shook by that, but he was almost excited, it seemed, but when it comes to a double date with Christine, that's completely out of the picture, like
Even though he was open to it 30 seconds before that in some fashion. So
yeah, but
which
then when
makes
he
me
heard
again
that they were open to it, then he had to shut it down because it's fine if he assumed that they would probably shut it down, so this
I
way he
agree.
didn't have to.
I agree. He wanted to look like the one who was open and
Open,
flexible
yeah.
and whatever. Yeah, I agree. But I also think I think Kody would be more open to having a relationship with David than he would with Christine at this
Well, yeah,
point,
he's a
at
guy.
least. True. Yes, that's what. Yes, uh, but I mean, Suki again. I think this is where she sort of starts the downfall in this episode that leads to the stare off that we see the episode end on. Um, but I mean, it's rough.
He had a
But
whole aneurysm.
he had a stroke. He had an aneurysm. He had a I mean, I wish this man health, but it was something was happening neurologically. His face was
So
twitching.
he didn't know how to react to that because he wasn't expecting that. He was expecting to be shut down. He was not
Right.
having to now turn around and shut it down. He's like, "Oh wait, now I'm gonna look like a bad person again." Like,
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And he I can't understand how Cody David, let's go to Moab. The next thing, Dave saying
drove the
Dave.
ATV. Damn fool drove the ATV over the edge. I mean,
Not the
what
ATV over the
happens in
edge.
Moab stays in Moab, right?
Yep. I'm glad she
But
didn't let Cody get away with it.
she did
True.
not. She stared that man down and made us
Yeah. Even these
painstakingly
backhanded comments that he made of all, "Oh, I'm glad that she's happy so she can stop talking about me," or whatever. I'm glad that she is saying, "Do you know how you sound right now? Do you know how you come across to other people?" Because Cody's the first one to play victim when everyone is mad at Robyn and mad at him
yeah.
for being the way that they are. But I mean, is anyone going to ask him, are you aware of the way that you sound? Or are you truly delusional, as I suspect? And you think that that's an actual compliment?
Yeah.
Inquiring minds would like to know.
He was just running through his mind trying to figure out which of the 5 truths was gonna pop up this time because whatever truth he went with before wasn't working for him. So
Oh, and there was a little blip, I guess, about Gwendolyn's, engagement party. And this is actually the context of them all meeting up for the first time together. And Robyn doesn't have a whole lot to say about the matter. She thinks that David is, fine enough and kind. But she was, I think, the most snarky and energetic that she's been thus far in these one-on-ones, and saying, well, you share kids, you share a life. And it's almost as if she's trying to say, we share kids, and so I'm going to punish you with my horrible presence at any point that I need to. And I think that that's terrible. You can just be nicer. You can just be more normal. He's a deflector. Yeah. Absolutely, Joe. Very true.
Yes. Kody said that one reason he was nervous to meet David was because he didn't know how good looking David was going to be. Like, what? Yeah. That's what we were just talking about.
Exactly. Welcome, Alexandria. If you want to honestly just rewind maybe 5 minutes, we were just
we went into that. Brooks got her own theories.
Yeah, really piggyback off of your theories and the theories of others online, because these are not rumors that we have started, just to be very clear.
I mean, I think, Kody must have just been worried about David having a head of hair, and then when he saw David was bald, I'm sure he was like, oh, thank God. Like, this man doesn't have these curls that I gotta pin right here.
I know. Do you think one day, maybe Kody will shave his head and then he'll have kind of the same thing going on as David, right? He'd be bald with the facial hair.
I mean, it's gotta be coming soon. How? Oh, that or the implants. I mean, the man could just go to Turkey. I mean, I've heard good things. Even for
Stay tuned for our Jersey Shore live coming up.
Yes, but I've also heard before
15,
Jersey Shore. I heard before Jersey Shore talked about it that I know somebody who someone in Dean's family, like a cousin or something, is like trying to go to Turkey or something like that. So
I know someone who went there and got it done.
Plus, Christine wasn't saying she was upset Kody was coming. It was because they didn't say they were coming till last minute. Yeah. I think that was funny because Suki asked Robyn, was it Christine said that it'd be complicated if you guys showed up. Like, how do you feel about that? And she was like, well, it was complicated. And then she got all snarky, like you said. But the reason why Christine said it was complicated was because, he kept going back and forth on whether or not he was going, which make it complicated.
Here, he said that didn't happen, but Christine said that did, and I'm inclined to believe Christine. So whatever, Kody.
I believe Christine as well, that he was going back and forth because she wouldn't have probably brought David anyways if Kody was actually going the entire time.
Right.
Because she was freaked out by it more so than David or anybody else was. I think that was a fine setting, honestly. But I think what sucks about that is that it took away from Gwendolyn, which was why she got pissed off with production and everything. So so it wasn't like it was complicated, but yeah, I mean they were mad just that Kody was last minute. Oh, I'm coming.
Well, and that was the nature of her relationship with Kody all the time, and so I think it was even kind of triggering for her to have to switch everything around last minute, because that's what she was always doing when she was dating Kody. So I think she had a lot of anger to pull from in that category. Bald is Kody's birth nightmare. Exactly.
It truly is, and it's funny because it just makes me think like it's got to be Robyn's too or something. Because I don't know why he's so hanging on to this. Like, she's got to be also encouraging it. Like, just pin it right here. Let me help you get ready. Well, who was it that he said helped him define his curls? Was it Robyn or Christine that he figured out hair through? It wasn't Meri, because him and Meri were going to the same.
It was Robyn that taught him how to use that. I don't know what that thing's called on the blow dryer. Diffuser.
The diffuser,
yeah. I think he said it was Robyn that taught him how to use that.
It just reminds me of, I don't remember what they were getting ready for, if it was the commitment ceremony or what, where Kody had to get truly ready. And he's like, your hair is like mine. Here, let me show you the tricks. And it's like,
and then it looked terrible.
Just like his. It looked just like his.
I know. I know. Wild.
Oh, man. Anyway, so this is when he does bring up more of the boys trip, and David does say like he's not completely opposed to it, and it did, set Kody off on this stare down with Suki that yeah, that becomes strange. And then they talk about Kody getting red at Christine and David, which I do think that David was a little bit over exaggerating there. I don't think Kody got red because I think he was red and I think he was cringing and I think it was uncomfortable, but I
Mhm.
don't think Kody was like getting red in the face looking at David unless they cut out those scenes. I don't know. But
Yeah.
Robyn even goes to bat with it like, no, not my man's. My man's is always red.
He's just a red guy. No, I think that David was trying to kind of gas himself up a little bit in that moment. Even the words that he was saying was kind of
Mhm.
a little bit embellished. And, that's how Christine talks sometimes too. But yeah, I mean, the way that he took what was happening and said it in the confessional, and maybe he'll just learn a lesson this way. I think a lot of times we tend to color in our memories of our experiences with our own feelings about things. And so David was like, "Oh yeah," Kody was like, "Oh, you held my grandkids and you've been around them and now you have my wife." And he took it as like this man confrontation,
Mhm.
and it just wasn't that. And we saw that it wasn't that and everyone got along fine. But when you recall it in your head, you sort of look at it a little bit
Yeah,
differently.
and even when the clip was playing and David first said like the grandkids thing, Cody kind of chuckled at that, but then he kind of kept going on and Cody was like, wait a minute, that's not how I remember it.
I think
And
David will just learn not to be that expressive because I think
Mhm.
we all have a way of recalling our memories sort of in a colored in way like that. But I hope he doesn't do that anymore in these confessionals. I don't know if he'll have any more of these confessionals, but if they do,
Mhm.
I hope he learns to just be more plain about what actually happened in real
Yeah,
life.
especially when you're on the outskirts of the family, it's kind of
Because
like
he
touchy
yeah, he will
waters,
get
but
himself in trouble. I mean, Cody could have gotten offended by that. I think he wouldn't have had a reason to, but I think I wouldn't have been surprised. Cody's been offended by less.
yeah, yeah, and I'm actually surprised that they didn't even touch on the red face stuff with Cody. Cody just was
Mhm.
like, "Listen, I like David. He's a good guy. I want to, go on this guy's trip, so I ain't gonna say nothing
Yep.
to keep that from possibly happening."
True.
Um,
No. And you're exactly
Mhm.
right, Alexandria. I think 24 hours is probably the minimum amount of time you need to see, that whole
Cody.
situation play out for sure.
Mhm.
Cody with his curly girl method is hilarious. I have curly hair, and Cody is clueless with it. Yeah, I bet. I
I
bet.
mean, I will
He's
say
had
they
a
look
hair journey.
he has. I will say his curls, like the definition of his curls looks better than the
Has
first
gotten it.
season
Yep.
because that first season him and Meri were just the same hairstyle, like the flips and the just
Mhm.
bobbing. And yeah,
Yes.
like
And then
and
for a
then
while, he was, like, straightening it, and he had
yeah,
these layers kind of
just like
going on.
Meri. He was on
Yes,
a
it
hair
was.
journey with Meri until about 2016 or something, like
Yeah, I think so. It was probably half of Sister Wives that they had the same hair.
the same exact hair and the same hairstylist, which, rest
Uh-huh.
in peace to
And
that
then he started doing
hairstylist.
the bun, once in a while per Janelle's request, and then I think
Everyone
Robyn
else hated it.
Robyn gave him a perm. Maybe, possible.
Probably. She probably did.
Mhm.
Oh, man. Or she probably took him to get one because I wouldn't trust her giving me one. I mean, those are some serious chemicals, like, you really gotta know what you're doing.
True.
So I would probably drop him off at the nearest hairdresser because I don't think, Robyn has a cosmetology license, but,
Right.
and it's also hard to get a hold of those chemicals if you're not licensed, so I would think that she would have dropped him off, but yeah, she probably did. She probably, like, sold a doll for it or something. Do you think she gave Gwendolyn a journal for, like, her her bridal shower or
Probably.
whatever? She
I've
probably
seen, I don't remember where
did.
I saw it, but I've seen someone go through and they found her, uh,
Mhm.
Etsy account, and apparently she's bought a lot of these junk
Tons.
trash journals,
Yeah, she doesn't
and
even have
they're
enough
hundreds
life.
of dollars a piece.
She
And
doesn't
she'll
even have
say
enough
on
life to
there,
fill it in.
"Whoever such and such
Yeah.
is gonna really enjoy and love this."
She's had to bought one for every person in the family at this point, or maybe just double for her kids or whatever.
Oh
But
my god.
either way, so yeah, Robyn around Christine together, you always feel the tension. Yes, especially in the beginning of the season with the baby stuff. That was a
Mhm.
little, when Robyn was sleeping in the closet. Um, and so he'd be better off just shaving it. I don't think he understands that though. He'd be better
Yeah,
off just shaving it and putting a wig on at this point. Like,
I think so. I don't know if I could stand to look at Kody with a bald head. It's not the same as David.
hmm
Dang McKelty having her there for the births.
yeah, dang it, McKelty. Why you gotta have her there?
Well,
I don't think she'll have her there again if there's more births. It doesn't sound like they get along anymore, but um yeah, we go on about this man's hair. I mean,
no, it is time to move on, but somehow the guys trip that was suggested gets turned into a guys trip and possibly a double date, and everyone seems amicable and agreeable and happy with the idea until all of a sudden Suki relays the message back to Kody and he completely shuts down. He says he doesn't think that would be a good idea. He thinks that Christine is really undermining, and um he says that they don't think that they have had enough time to heal yet. And Suki asks, well, don't you think it'd be a good opportunity to start that healing process maybe, during that time? And he says, nope. She asks why. He says, personal reasons. And I think that's the last thing we hear from Kody for a solid minute and 45 seconds.
yeah, and then he's just staring. And she's
Then
like,
he
"What?"
turns into a mute.
She's like, "We could stare at each other all day. Like, I could do this all day." And I'm like, "Damn, Suki, I couldn't. I don't think I could look at this man all day." It's pretty
He
bold.
does this weird, he pulls his hair off, and Suki is looking for something to keep the conversation flowing somehow. And she goes, what is this? And he goes, oh, it's just hair, and laughs. She goes, I thought you were discarding. Like, he might as well be. I mean, he was totally using that as a, okay, let's move on. That was his body language at that time, was
Yeah,
it's time to move on.
it's time to move on.
Mhm.
The long hair was worse. Yes, it was. The way he said personal reasons was weird, and the way he was like, what did he say about the Christine thing? Like, maybe not. It was so like this man should have been like he's like a failed actor or something. I just
So remember when he went on the trip just before they did Garrison's burial, and he told the family that he was named after Kody something.
yeah, the dude that made the town.
Yeah, and he said that he was an entertainer and a ladies' man. And I do think that Kody, maybe that's part of his delusion, that he thinks that he is that man, because Kody is like a failed actor, failed entertainer, failed ladies' man.
I mean, he entertains me. That whole share divorce thing, like he'd be throwing out these random gems where I'm like, who is this man? Like, who created this person? He is definitely so strange.
He
Robyn
is.
probably writes down all her complaints. Yeah, I mean that's the only reason I can see getting that many journals, have a record of everything. Um,
That's
there
why.
can't be that much to write about in her life. Like she doesn't have enough
True.
life to put in there. I mean, there's no reason anyone should own 150 journals. Like,
She
I
could
don't.
be writing, fantasy novels about the porch and all that.
Robyn said he was actually a ladies' man.
I
Yeah, I
know.
think she just thought that because he had so many wives. What'd she call him saying he loved his wives? An aphrodisiac. She does love a taken man. So,
She does love a taken man.
oh man, she shut him down. She did shut I mean Suki shut him down on, his nonsense. She was really looking for something like you were saying. Like she was really trying to give us something
Keep the
of an answer
conversation
from this
going.
man. Yeah, but if you want, it was so weird because he's agreeing to something like, oh, we should do this, and then he's told, well, they agree with it too. Oh no, never. Like, and then he turns all weird and cynical and switches to a different truth. And
Yeah.
sorry, that's my
Yeah.
little chow chow in the back.
Yeah. It's like right in this moment, we get at least two or three of Cody's versions of his truth. just in this time. So I don't blame Suki for being a little confused and trying to really pin him down on something, but at the same time, impossible.
Impossible.
So they revert to a stare down conversation, just like regular teenagers.
Yep, that's where Kody feels is most comfortable.
Yes, and that's where they leave us off for this one-on-one. So I guess we'll see who wins the staring contest at the next episode. They did give us a little brief bit of what to expect for next episode. They're going to talk a little bit about how trust issues played into all the stuff with Coyote Pass, and Jenelle is going to mention how Kody always ends up on top when it comes to these financial deals, which snaps to Jenelle for saying these things out loud, because Kody loves to shove all of that stuff onto Jenelle, and how anything that was bad that happened to their finances was because Jenelle was in charge, and anything that is good that happened to their finances because Cody's a brilliant man. So I just think it's great that she always corrects that record. So they're also going to talk about the luggage rack situation, and we get to find out, I think, if Robyn gets to use the luggage rack when she's with Kody. And what else do we find?
Oh, I bet she does.
Oh, I bet you she does. I think we're lagging a little.
I might be. Hold on. I
Either
was
way.
trying to pull up. Do you have those photos I sent you? Do you have those photos I sent you? Because I was gonna pull those up for the people.
Oh,
From
you didn't
the
use
AI
it?
ones
You
that
didn't
we
use it? Did you use
I
it
used
for
it in the
the
cover, but we still have to show the people on here. It was a little tiny thing.
I
Because
didn't upload them,
it wouldn't
but I
make a
can.
full
It
cover
will just
photo.
take
It
me 1
wasn't.
minute. It'll just take me 1 minute. I can
Okay,
do
because
it.
that's why I'm lagging, is because I'm trying to get that to come up. Because as promised, we do have a Robyn Tea Party photo for you guys.
That's true.
With her
I gotta
dolls.
get the one with Kody
AI,
in it though.
Oh, I sent you that one too. Hold on. That was a
I
little
know.
bit back though. Here, I can send it again. The one with like, I don't know how they got Robyn and Kody so well, but they've messed up the other sister wives, but I'm here for it because this really does look like a real photo of these people. Like, this is AI. It's not true. Like, I did not go in their house and set up this photo with them, but shoot, like, it feels like there's got to be a room in their house just like this, and like
I
this is a
know.
real. I mean, even the clothing. Like, I swear, Robyn has worn that exact outfit. And Kody. Usually, it's a
True.
brighter blue, more plaid, but
Okay, coming right up. But to continue the next time, Meri gets a little bit spicy. I don't know if this is just editing or if she's really asking, but Meri is truly wondering why Christine would be talking about Kody in front of David, and she sounds a little bit angry about it. I don't know if this is Meri's way of trying to keep her and Kody on good terms by maybe sticking up for him. But obviously, we get more about Kody and Robyn and how much they're in love with each other. And we get a little idea of that Robyn might still believe in polygamy if she has a guarantee, which I know she's been toting this guarantee idea everywhere. I don't even know what that means.
Just upsets me because what more of a guarantee did you have other than 20-year marriages? If that didn't work out, there is no guarantee, hooker. Like,
exactly.
I mean, shoot, she don't want polygamy. Let's just not anymore. You know, she wanted those original sister wives on a porch and whatever, but she does not actually want any new sister wives, and not at all. It was his grandfather's middle name. Jenelle said it on an episode. You know, and maybe his grandfather was also named after that man. I don't know, but you know, Kody loves to, you know, have 16 different truths. So I know his middle name is his dad's first name, Wynn.
Yes.
Such an ironic name to have, Kody Wynn Brown. It's like, oof. And then you've been, and all your ex-wives is calling you a failure.
I know.
Just so interesting. Let's see.
So I have two of them right now. I don't know where the other one went, but I'll just get those in.
Didn't like what Meri says in the next episode, something about Christine always talking. Yeah, and I think that that's just kind of normal. I feel like we talk about our exes sometimes in relationships, and also they're filming a show that is about this stuff that the producers are
Yeah.
probably also telling them to talk about these things. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily fair to throw Christine under the bus for that because
I agree.
maybe Meri just doesn't have the experience yet of dating somebody on camera, but I think that that's a lot of it. I don't think that they're sitting at home constantly talking about Kody. I think that they are on the show because that's what the show is about. But yeah, I don't think that it's like totally fair to be like, oh my gosh, you're always talking about your ex, which sometimes it is a little weird. I will say, like when they were on their date and stuff, I thought that was weird, which is why I thought was funny when Kody was like, I love watching Christine's scenes. It's like watching an old friend fall in love. I'm like, but they talk shit about you in almost every scene still. Like,
I know.
So yeah, but I do think a lot of that's production asking them to talk about him. So and also it's just normal. Don't we talk about our exes sometimes with our man? Like, I had an ex that wouldn't let me use a straw. So every time like we go out, get something to eat, sometimes I'll be starting to take off the lid, and Dean will have to be like, you can use a straw. You are safe here. Like,
you are safe with me. So here's Anne's first AI creation.
Which we did show you guys last time, but we decided that middle person on Christine's lap is Truly. AI didn't think it was Truly though. But
right
when I made them turn around, but I don't have that photo exactly anymore. Yeah, Meri, Jenelle, Christine, and Truly sitting on their porch, looking at Angel Mountain. And I'm sure there's a Robyn's picnic table somewhere in the yonder as well. But yeah, they're just on a porch with their sister wives. And then I hope someone mentions Robyn's shopping habits. I hope these dolls come up, but I don't remember. You're saying that this was filmed around the time of the house. I don't remember when the doll situation came up. I feel like it was all around the same time. So hopefully these dolls will get brought up. I love a home tour, honestly. I would watch a home tour, wouldn't you? Robyn and Kody's house. I just think that would be the best.
I would too. Are we ready for the Kody and Robyn one?
I'm just getting through these comments real quick. Robyn wants a guarantee that she can be the sacred cow. Yeah. I mean, she is the sacred cow. She mooed for us, so she knows her spot. In the Hindu religion, the cow is considered sacred. Tiger Paw and Bambino. Okay. Welcome to the channel, Tiger Paw and Bambino. I do. Yes, that is true. Maybe Kody is also Hindu. I'm sure Robyn's got a couple Hindu dolls. She's got a doll for everything, I think. But yeah, I think that's probably why they're calling her the sacred cow, is because is it India?
I think it is some kind of phrase, yeah.
Well, in India, I know they don't eat cow. Like it is like a real, like it's a thing.
It's an actual sacred.
In Hinduism is a big religion over there. So yeah, it's a real sacred cow. So that's where the term, I'm sure, is coming from. But yeah, you could just fit Robyn right in there with the other cows in the Hindu religion. Just line her right up with them. You can't talk about her, can't do nothing with her. Robyn is missing a leg in that photo. Well, Robyn's not in that photo. It's Meri. But an AI doesn't do so well with the limbs.
Yeah. It doesn't do so well with it.
It was way rougher than that. But
that's funny.
Robyn's not in that photo. It's Meri. Put it back up. Where is it? Or do you have the other one up?
I'm in the process of pulling that up, but I can pull the other one back up easier, I think.
From left to right, it's Christine, Truly on her lap, Jenelle, and Meri. So
here we are.
We had to leave out Robyn. Yeah. Meri, maybe her leg is like, crisscross applesauce. But yeah, she's missing a leg, but it's okay. AI, these aren't real photos, so it's okay.
Yeah, we're just being.
But that's Meri.
Really.
Meri before her glow up, I think. But Meri.
Pre-glow up.
This is Robyn's worst nightmare, is seeing all these ladies on a porch with their sister wives, and she's not invited. I don't know why Truly is invited, but we're just assuming that that's Truly.
Do we want to do Robyn alone first or Robyn
Let's do Robyn alone first, and then we can add
her mans?
Yeah.
Okay. We have 3 photos total, so that was the first one for you guys. This all, if you guys didn't catch our last episode at the end of it, this all happened at the end of our last episode. I don't know what the heck Anne and I were on at that time, but we decided that we had to create these photos. And
We
it
were
was
having
very
fun in the chat, you know.
Yeah.
So
here comes our second creation. Well, Anne's second creation.
AI, ChatGPT.
AI's creation.
This is, I think, I know it's AI, but this looks real.
It does. They did a good job of this for what we asked for. Didn't we ask for Robyn drinking tea in a room with $1 million?
Yes.
Isn't that what this is, y'all?
And that is what, look at all them dolls in the back. Like, they really delivered with this.
I know.
That's awesome.
Like, these are good. This is what AI does well, because you don't need like great details on these dolls.
No, not back there.
And they did Robyn so good.
I mean,
she even has good fingers.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, they're big fingers, but they didn't mess up her fingers that bad.
These dolls are so creepy too. Every single one of them.
I bet she owns a couple that either are those dolls or look just like them, or whatever. But
I know
that.
Thank you for appreciating that, Alexandria.
We worked hard on these photos. And it does look real. I mean, her hair is the same. She's just not wearing any fake lashes, but
yeah, it's her standard color, her standard hair.
That's her outfit. Like, she has worn that outfit. I think AI knew where to look for that outfit.
And it looks like an accurate depiction of Robyn. She looks like this right now. Even her wrinkles are all there.
Her brows look a little nicer in the photo, I will say, than they do in regular time. But that's the one thing AI gave her, I think, that was nice.
True.
Yes, I love Robyn's expression. She looks like she's
grand finale.
Yes, that's her uniform. That is her uniform. She wears the same damn look every day. Usually that maroon. She loves maroon and like navy blue, I think.
Yeah, navy blue.
Don't you have a shirt that's Robyn's shirt? You need to start wearing that.
I do. Yeah. Me and Robyn share the same shirt that she used to wear in the intro. Now they just flash Sister Wives up on a random screen. But when they had the actual thing where they show everybody, the recent one where she's in a navy shirt, I have the same shirt, and we got it from, I think.
Yeah, she just dresses like she's a teacher or like she's going to a funeral all the time. And then, this is the chef's kiss. Like, Kody in the back, pissed off that this is where pissed off at anybody who wants to talk crap about all his money going to this. Because he ain't mad that Robyn's doing it, but she does love a good floral.
Oh man, this is literally how Kody ended the episode, with this face. It's so funny because we made these last week. We didn't know he was going to look like this at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Well, he looks like that at the end of every episode, so.
Specifically this one, but you're right.
Mm-hmm. And this is shirt Kody wears as well. Usually it's more of a light blue.
I mean, okay, I have to I wish I could do a side by side, but I don't think it will allow it. But like, okay, everybody look at Kody's face right now. Here, I'll zoom in.
Ingrain it in your mind.
Look at this.
It's so accurate for AI. They got everybody else wrong but Robyn and Kody. I can't believe it. And then I guess we're waiting on the second one. But ingrain that in your mind while we're waiting. Is that my dog?
It's the same face. It's the same face. Angry Kody.
Always angry. Always angry. I think AI kind of gave him a little bit extra hair. He didn't look so much like the Flesh headband, but,
So true.
I'm going to have that. But it's okay.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Thanks for watching. I think we have 2 more episodes, like we said, of this, and I don't really know what else is gonna happen. As we've been talking about, I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen with the rest of this franchise, with this television show. It could just be me and Anne sitting on YouTube making AIs and talking to you guys about it for the rest
This
of
is
forever.
my fluff.
There she is. There's our girl.
She likes to talk. Oops. But she kind of looks like Kody. Anyways.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
We don't know what the future of the show is going to bring. We just know that there's another episode. So we will be here next week to go live with y'all again.
Yeah. We hope that we catch you all back. Yeah, she's a big girl.
She's mostly fur, though.
Yeah.
She's actually a lot smaller than she looks. It's this guy over here that you see in the window. He's big. but yes, we will see you guys next time. Remember, if you're not subscribed, to subscribe, turn on your notifications, because we are going live every Friday right now. And we still have a few more Sister Wives episodes. In fact, after we go live right now, we're about to do Jersey Shore. We're going to cover those 2 episodes.
Our first time covering Jersey Shore, and we're going to be covering the first 2 episodes of a new season. So if that's something you're interested in, take a short little bathroom break like we will, and we'll catch you in a little while. Thanks for being a new subscriber, Alexandria. I'm glad that you loved our show. We love showing all these things to you and talking to you guys. Excellent picks, Cindy from Oz said.
Yes. We did good. We did good today. We came to play.
So we did good. Y'all did good. Can't say the same about Kody Brown this episode, nor Robyn herself, but we can't control everything. So
man, the audacity to like have a paycheck like that and still not feel like you need to work for it. But
I know.
To each their own.
Speaking of working for it, don't forget to like our video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Thanks again, Alexandria, for being a new subscriber today. And also go ahead and hit the share button, copy the link, copy it a whole bunch of times. And Cindy says, thanks for the live. What a cute pup. What a cute pup.
What a cute pup. Brooks got herself a cute pup, but he's in the window.
As always, keeping guard.
Keeping guard. As mine is. That's where the boys go.
I know. I want to put you on solo layout so people can like actually see.
Look at him. And he just like leans like that. Like
I know.
He's been like that for the last hour and a half.
So my dog, So my dog is up there, but he's obviously not as big as your dog, but he does the same thing, but he's at least, laying down.
This man's falling asleep. Anyway.
It's the dog show now.
Yes, it is. Anyway, so we will catch you guys next week. Remember, keep your notifications on, reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and goodbye. We will catch you in the next live. We'll be back.
We shall return.
Very soon.